Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to come real quick because I wanted to let y'all hear something. You know, maybe this might help some of y'all out. This is not mine, so I don't know if they're gonna be mad or anything if I play this, but I'm gonna just play it anyway, and then we just have to figure it out later. But so this is on YouTube. It's on the Nutty History. It's on the Nutty History, so y'all can go listen to this yourself, but I'm gonna play it, so hopefully they don't get mad at me because they already did it. But why love and marriage in ancient Egypt was weird, okay? And it's on Nutty History, so go check them out. I'm subscribed to them. I like the video, so that way I'm reciprocating energy, being as though I'm about to take some of their stuff off here. But listen to this and tell me if this sounds familiar to any of you guys. Y'all tarot readers that's being programmed.
When Herodotus visited Egypt for the first time, he was astounded to see how things were different in their society than any other civilization, empire, or country he had been to before, accusing them of reversing the ordinary practices of mankind, such as marriage, lovemaking, and public display of affection. Herodotus' experience of Egypt was nothing less than an eye-opener. Welcome to Nutty History. Today, let's find out what love and marriage were like in ancient Egypt, and why Herodotus found them shocking. Marriage in ancient Egypt was pretty much mostly arranged and monogamous, but of course the pharaohs were an exception to this rule. Despite that, the marriage institution was aimed pretty much towards social goals rather than individual fulfillment, such as communal stability and generational advancement. But history has also taught us that marriage meant a lot more than that to the ancient Egyptians. There is evidence indicating that romantic love and affable companionship were equally important for ancient Egyptians in their married life. The New Kingdom offers us a lot of art, poetry, and other forms of works praising the virtues of one's lover or wife. Tutankhamun, the pharaoh who is known for his intact tomb more than any of his reign's accomplishments, had beautiful images of him with his wife, Ankh-Cinnamon, in romantic poses. Interestingly, every painting of Tutankhamun and Ankh-Cinnamon depicts their devotion to each other by their proximity, hand gestures, and adorable expressions. Such art covers most of the concerned pharaoh's tomb, who died at the mere young age of 18. Sadly, Ankh-Cinnamon disappears from historical records shortly after, possibly implying her early demise as well. This was a common theme in tomb paintings, as more art and inscriptions showed husbands and wives eating and dancing and working together. Ancient Egyptian society was based on the idea of the nuclear family, and they would arrange their gods into such groupings as well. Once a young man was well into adolescence, it was appropriate for him to seek a partner and begin his own family. Females were probably thought to be ready for marriage after their first menses. The marrying age of males was perhaps a little older. The perfect age to become a groom in ancient Egypt was generally 16 to 20 years of age, as they would have a job and be able to support a family. Interestingly, there was no wedding ceremony in ancient Egypt. A woman was considered married to a man the moment she entered his house after agreeing upon the goods. Like any other contemporary...
Y'all keep talking about these new houses. Somebody's getting a new house, There's no contract. Once you enter into this man's house, y'all are now married because there is no contract. And y'all agree. I told y'all in another video, I listened to this and I thought it was funny. So, new house. Y'all pay attention. Walk with me now because y'all keep saying this.
Civilization. Marriages were usually arranged by one's parents with an agreed upon bride price and reciprocal gifts from the groom's family to the bride's family.
And mind you, this is for y'all divine people. Divine masculine, divine feminine. This is the rules. These are the things that we're discussing right now that the tarot community are discussing. This is it, okay?
However, this was not a dowry. In ancient Egyptian terms for marriage, meaning meant to moor a boat and find a house. The groom often gave the bride's family a gift, and he also gave his wife presents. Prenuptial agreements were common and would have
given her presents. Y'all keep talking about, oh, they're gonna give you a gift. They're gonna give you a gift. Does this sound familiar to anybody?
Material possessions the bride brought to the marriage remained hers to do with as she pleased. The purpose of marriage was to have children, but the couples were expected to love and honor each other and be always grateful for their presence in their own life. Taking a wife was synonymous with setting up a house. A man was expected to love his wife, and was pretty much bound to do so by religion. Women were treated at almost equal status with men in ancient Egypt, as it was believed that after the dawn of creation, the goddess Iset made the genders equal in power. Yet even by a small margin, males were considered the dominant gender. Women were traditionally in charge of the home, and ideally, the new couple moved into their own house shortly after the marriage. According to the legal text, each spouse retained control of the property that they brought into the marriage, and whatever was acquired during the union was considered under joint ownership. Unlike Rome or Greece, marriage was entirely a non-religious affair in ancient Egypt. Neither the state nor religious doctrines cared who you were married to, and apart from contracts made for financial matters of the marriage, marriages were not even registered anywhere. These financial contracts, or marriage settlements, were drawn by the fathers of the groom and the bride, and signed by them before witnesses. This was perhaps the only formality that could be considered as an Egyptian wedding ceremony. Even though ancient Egyptian royal family members were expected to marry their siblings, the practice of in-family marriage was generally discouraged among the noble and common population. For most people, the marriage was arranged for the maximum benefit of both parties, and it was hoped that as they lived together, they would grow to love one another if they did not already.
Okay, so what's happening here is they're expecting for two people to come together that don't know each other, that are supposed to be divine counterparts, to now just automatically recognize each other and be accepting of each other. The problem is, and where I had an issue at is, I don't know nothing about that, okay? It wasn't explained. It was just here, figure it out, and y'all work on it, okay? You work on it. Okay, so let me explain more because I just heard. So what's happening is, those people that believe in reincarnation, okay? So if you don't believe in that, just move on about your business. These ancient pharaohs and gods and goddesses are being awakened into the bodies, into human bodies, okay? They were already there, but now they're just waking up, okay? So that spirit was already reincarnated into my body, okay? We're just gonna use me for example. So there was an ancient Egyptian that was reincarnated into me. And apparently it took 45 years for her to wake up. It took 45 years for her to wake up because of the fact that when I'm talking to y'all about these ancient beings and all this little negative, nasty stuff that's been happening in the world, some people, God don't need them to wake up before, I don't know how to explain this without, okay, so either they get awakened by their counterpart or something triggers it for them to be awakened. Apparently I started being awakened by a counterpart because, again, when I was saying going through portals and time, anyway, my issue with all of this was it made no sense. It made no sense to me because I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know how it was happening. I didn't know the changes. I didn't know the stuff that was going on. So, and I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying this, but apparently I am, because there's damage going on. There's damage going on because there's young kings, young pharaohs being awakened into bodies and into people. They were already there. So it's not like, okay, now we're dropping them. No. When they were born, they were already this. But it's like you got to go through lifetimes. If you go look up reincarnation, you'll figure it out. Because I got to go look up some more stuff now because, again, I just figured out now how to put two and two together without, so that it makes sense, although it's still probably going to be weird to some people. So some of these people are young waking up. So they automatically recognize who they are, and now they are here. They've been reincarnated into this body, into this person, into this plane, and they're not understanding what's happening because times are different from back then than they were now, okay? And right now, the gods and goddesses that have been awakened, that are sitting on their level, are arrogant and dirty. And they're not doing their jobs as far as helping the crossover now into the babies, the young ones, me, people previously, like, and it's damaging them. So there has to be a place, a crossover, somewhere to now say, okay, I recognize you. I know that this is, excuse me, because we got to figure out who they are. That's the first thing. They're figuring out who they are in the process of, I know I'm this person because I was born this person and this is what I've always been. This is who I thought I was the whole entire time. But now I have this ancient person that has awakened inside of me, because now remembering who you were, remembering the reincarnation of it all. Okay, so you don't believe in reincarnation, just going away, because again, this is not for you and it's not gonna make any sense. So again, I hope these people are not mad that I'm using their video, but I am, because I needed some tools.
Egyptians were tremendously proud of their heritage, and ancestry was traced through both mothers' and fathers' lines. Despite living separately, respect for parents and elders in the family was a cornerstone of morality. The most fundamental duty of the eldest son or daughter was to care for his parents in their last days and to ensure that they received a proper burial. As we mentioned, procreation was an important aspect of ancient Egyptian religion. Also, Egyptians were not shy about openly discussing the act of lovemaking, another thing that made Herodotus uncomfortable. Unlike most modern religions that try to convince you that babies are delivered by storks, ancient Egyptian was fairly progressive. Moreover, honey and crocodile dung were the best options for contraceptives in their time, so clearly it was a no-brainer why ancient Egyptian women would get pregnant very early in their married life. Children of both sexes were valued and wanted in households of all classes of ancient Egypt. There is also no indication that female infanticide was practiced, and that also solidifies ancient Egypt's attitude towards gender equality. However, they did come up with methods to determine the gender of the child during pregnancy, along with tests for fertility and pregnancy itself. We already explained how married women used to pass water on crop seeds in the fields to determine pregnancy in our Creepy Things That Were Normal in Ancient Egypt video. But there was another layer to it. The expectant mother was supposed to water 2 crops, barley and emmer wheat. If the barley sprouted first, the woman was pregnant with a male child. If the emmer wheat was germinated, she was pregnant with a female child. If the urine had no effect, the woman was not pregnant. Though there was actually some scientific basis for this test, as a pregnant woman produces a variety of hormones, some of which can induce early flowering in particular plants, there is no known relationship between these plants and the determination of gender. The birth of a child was a time of great joy as well as one of serious concern, given the high rate of infant mortality, and the stress of childbirth on the mother was highly fatal. Childbirth was viewed as a natural phenomenon and not an illness, so assistance in childbirth was usually carried out by a midwife. Egyptian children who successfully completed their 5th year could generally look forward to a full life. Based on the skeletal evidence, that would be about 33 years for men and 29 years for women in peasant society. However, life expectancy in the upper middle class was expected to be 60 to 70 years, just like modern times. Kids were given plenty of time to play, but past infancy, they were also expected to train for adulthood. Every male child was expected to learn their father's trade and become professional at it. Every girl, except those of royal...
Okay, so I want to say that, and I'm going to just use me for example, because of the fact that, if you go back to a previous video, I'm saying that my first person that I was with, we crossed paths in another lifetime. This person killed me in a past life. That's why I kept having visions of this person. Like, I had to get away from them because of the fact that there was so much stuff that was happening that this person was going to do, they were trying to do something to me again. Even in this lifetime, they were trying to do something to me. Which is so weird how these things are crossing over. Because the person that, because I don't want to tell y'all. Anyway, I don't want to tell y'all, and I'm not going to tell y'all. The person that awakened on the inside of me died also around that time. And this is the thing now, because what's different in this lifetime, well, it's funny because the person that I have awakened up, the person that was awakened in me, nobody knows where she came from. Which is also funny because even on my mom's side of the family, nobody knows. It's difficult to figure out certain things, like my mom's side of the family, so it's weird. So certain things are even still in this lifetime the same as even they were way back when. But the funny part is when I did awaken and God said, he showed me the person, and then he showed me my counterpart, and then this person really came into my vision, although, like I said, I've already had like a thing for this person for a different reason, just not a thing, but as far as like the artistry of it all. This person is a very artistic, very, you know, I like that about them. So I had already gravitated toward that aspect of that person, right? So then, not realizing that the reason why I also gravitated towards this person was because of our past life connection back then. So I was married to this person in a past life, and this person reincarnated now into this life. And so I know who the person is now. I know who the person is that was reincarnated into this life. But the funny part was, by this age that I am now, back then, I would have died. I would have already been dead. And I can't remember, I wrote it down, but I can't remember what they said she died from, okay? But this dude really, really loved this girl, loved this woman, this queen, because she had ascended at a young, back then. So now this pharaoh had been trying to figure out if he could find his counterpart through time and space, okay? Which is very neglectful, even on like so many levels. Just the abuse of it all. So, okay, I awaken. The spirit in me awakens. And now God is dealing with me because God is saying, I got to keep you protected for a minute because you don't even know what's happening. You have awakened, and there is a person, people are supposed to communicate with you, but they're apparently along the lines of time, these ancient rituals, these ancient, what's supposed to happen is not happening, okay? There is no, it's not happening. So there's a problem because now some very old spirits are here. And I told y'all about that before. Some nasty, wicked ones. And they're looking to stop the awakening of these ancient pharaohs, queens, all of these people. So if you believe in reincarnation, this is where we're at with it. And so I was trying to figure out why, like I said, I told you on a previous video, I asked God to unlock me because I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember some stuff. And the reason why I couldn't remember was because the person that was supposed to come and find me was the key. But apparently some stuff is happening here in this time and date and, you know, all this stuff. And so, I don't know. Not my business, not my problem. So just explaining to anybody that is having an awakening, having an ascension, and not realizing what's going on, this is explaining it. And again, not my video. It is the Nutty History, so you can go look it up there if you want to see the whole thing without me talking over it, because this is what I'm doing.
Royal blood was trained to learn how to manage a household, kitchen, care for the young, elderly, and pets.
Oh, and then you just heard what he said about royal blood. So if you didn't hear it, some tarot reader is saying that your life is gonna matter one day. First of all, my life matter right now, bitch. Sorry, God. Sorry, but you know I be saying stuff when they be saying stuff like that. Y'all are corrupting the minds of people who don't know that y'all not talking to them. Y'all not talking to them, and they're coming to your tarot channels for. Although I did hear that apparently the reason why y'all tampered with my phone was to make sure that I could only see those tarot readers, to keep the narrative going. So, but then when I got this phone, it kind of blew y'all out the water too, because of the fact that I ended up being able to see different stuff as to why my phone was loading here and not loading there. So y'all suck at that too. But keeping the focus, there's other people coming to y'all, read y'all tarot channels, and then this is why you're saying this is not for everybody. Well, why you broadcasting it to everybody then, dummy? This is the reason why they're confused.
While most traditional religions and civilizations make a lot of fuss about virginity, ancient Egypt had no care for premarital intercourse. In fact, there is no word for virgin in the ancient Egyptian language, suggesting that one's degree of intercourse, or lack of, was not thought a matter of consequence. However, they did not look kindly upon fooling around after marriage. Couples were expected to be faithful to each other and practice monogamy. Sensuality was important for ancient Egyptians, and even ancient Egyptian religion resolved around ideas of fertility and procreation. Unmarried women were free to have intercourse with whomever they chose, as premarital intercourse was widely accepted. The Ebers Medical Papyrus, which was written in the 15th century BC, lists the contraceptives that were popular in ancient Egypt. Surprisingly, soliciting intercourse was hardly a thing, and there is next to no evidence of it during the Old Kingdom and Middle Kingdom. No brothels have been identified in ancient Egypt, and soliciting intercourse is not mentioned in any written works or legal decisions. As Egyptians valued social harmony, it makes sense that they would place special emphasis on stories encouraging domestic tranquility. Many poems talk about the act of lovemaking among lovers and spouses, and all are focused on how blissful they feel in the company of their partners. Your hand is in my hand. My body trembles with joy. My heart is exalted because we walk together. I was taken as a wife to the house of Neferkapta that night, and the pharaoh sent me a present of silver and gold. He, her husband, slept with me that night and found me pleasing. He slept with me again, and we loved each other. She is more beautiful than any other girl. She is like a star rising, with beautiful eyes for looking, and sweet lips for kissing. Even though Egyptians were expected to have true affection for their life partners, that doesn't mean Egyptians were forced to commit to a marriage. If there was trouble in paradise, paradise was not meant to become a prison. In ancient Egypt, marriages were expected to last a lifetime and would continue to be a commitment in the afterlife as well. As the majority of the male population lived until their 30s, and it wasn't uncommon for women to succumb during childbirth around the age of 16 or so, the idea of them reuniting in the afterlife was a consoling one. However, just like any other period, not all matches were made so divine and ended up not loving each other anymore. The end of a marriage was as simple as the beginning. One or both spouses asked for a divorce, and material possessions were divided according to the prenuptial agreement. A new agreement was signed, and the marriage was over. The children of the marriage belonged to the mother, and in the case of divorce, the mother would have custody. Even though warnings of the unfaithful woman were plentiful in literature, socially women were given enormous freedom in marriage. Anything she had entered the marriage with, she was allowed to take with her when it ended. Only a charge of infidelity, amply proven, deprived a woman of her rights in divorce. But laws got complicated during the New Kingdom period, and
so some of y'all are saying that him leaving the person, he's going to be justified, and you know, all of this stuff, and this is the reason why. It's because that if you can prove that the woman had committed adultery or anything, then she has to leave with nothing, I guess is what they're saying. So that's why I hear some of y'all saying that too. But again, does this sound familiar to any of y'all?
So did the marriage agreements. In the case of divorce, the dowry provided by the groom at the time of marriage reverted to the wife for her support, or a single payment was given to her. Alimony payments were also an option, with the husband sending his ex-wife a monthly stipend until she remarried, even if there were no children involved. Tell us in the comments if you are surprised to find ancient Egyptian society as modernistic and open-minded as...
Okay, so again, that's the Nutty History. I'll attach their video to this video since I used it. But there's so much more, because there are so many things that I've been hearing y'all say. And it's somebody that has a guy that's saying 42. He has his own page. And I don't know if these are the people that is pulling the strings to y'all, but I'm sick and tired of seeing y'all whole narrative. And so let me help y'all help yourselves, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing it. Discernment, people. Y'all keep saying y'all got a whole lot of it. Y'all shuffling these cards and everything else, acting like y'all got some insight. You got insight to nothing, to a story that's already there. And the ones that are actually, even, matter of fact, whoever's doing this one though, they are good because of the fact that, and if y'all are bringing these people together, I'm trying to figure out what's happening with that, because y'all are very y'all are very thorough with the information that y'all go through, because like I said, so something about that group is a little different because of the fact that they're trying to figure out who these old beings, because I see also, but some of the people, oh God, some of these people claiming to be I am this and I am that. Like I said, y'all love y'all titles, but y'all not helping the ones who are now awakening, the young people that are awakening, and trying to figure out where they belong, who they belong to, what is this, what is that. It's almost like they are just being kept in silence. So somebody has to be a guide. There's information that needs to be given. And apparently I'm in that position right now because I didn't like it. Y'all just, like I said, threw me out to the wolves and said, here, sink or swim. Although there's somebody that's being on the sideline saying, we're not just going to let you sink. Even if you couldn't swim, which I can, I got up out of there. I'm going to help you. I'm at least, make sure you just don't drown. At least, that's more than what some of y'all did. But okay, we're here now. So this will explain to, and I don't even know, I got to make sure I title it right, so then that way even people will even look at it to even see, because I just didn't know. I just didn't know. But then when, like I said, I am a very, even back then, the person that I awakened, or that was in there, that's in there, is a scribe too. And even in this lifetime, I still am the same. It's so funny. That person was a diplomat, still the same. That person was like, it's so crazy, because when I even realized it, like some of the processes, because I realized it as soon as, like, very early into ascension time, God was pointing me in the right direction. And I unlocked certain things by myself. Like, it was almost as if my body was just directing me and guiding me to, like I said, I did some things on New Year's that I didn't even know why. And it's because this person is in there. It's me still, but an ancient person, ancient person is now but we got to figure out something different, because some people, like I said, and I said it in previous videos, these kids are awakening younger and younger. There's guardians, pharaohs, all types of other stuff that are awakening, and they don't know where to turn to. And this world right here got a lot of, shiny things, and all things that glitter is not gold. Y'all keep saying that, and that's right. And it's funny because nickname has been Golden Girl for forever and a day. The Golden Child. That would be me. And now, I don't know. Like I said, more stuff, I guess. I don't know how this is going to work out with this video, the way I just did it. Hopefully nobody, because otherwise then I got to just figure out how to do it differently. But as I'm seeing these videos, because there's other videos that I've seen, that people seem like they're caught in that loop too. So maybe, I don't know, y'all need help getting out or something too. Maybe that might be the other thing that I'm supposed to do. Because some of y'all just keep saying the same thing, and I don't understand why anybody's going to y'all channel. Y'all literally say the same thing, different reading, just a different way, but it's all the same words. I'm tired of seeing it. But for some reason, they won't let me leave it, because every time I block and delete y'all, I gotta go right back. Somebody's just wiping my stuff. Like, no, I need you to see this. Go back. Follow the yellow brick road. You got to go back. So I guess the only way I'm going to get out of this is to go through it. All right. So thanks for coming to my channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll see you soon. I'm actually about to get dressed and go on a spa date with my son and his girlfriend for my birthday and chill. So the video might be later.